Good evening, everyone. Glad you're still with us. And as you can see behind me, we do have the map, and we're starting to see a lot of states drop in. As the night gets closer to the end, we're seeing more and more results. And as you can see, we've got a lot of the red coming in. And Florida has been an interesting state because throughout the night, we've seen it swap back and forth. Now, the polls are closed in Florida, so we should be seeing the results come in. But this is going to be a very close race. We've heard that a lot over the past couple of weeks, and I think people are realizing it more and more tonight. Actually, it's interesting because we've heard a lot of stories about issues with the polls. Here in New York City, because of Hurricane Sandy, many voters were displaced and had to go to other locations in order to cast their vote. That was the only chance they had to get in there, despite losing homes, and luckily we heard earlier that many of them are still getting out to vote. But because of those changes, there is the opportunity for voter fraud in many states, including New Jersey, or at least the states affected by Sandy. We are seeing alternative styles of voting, allowing people to fax in their vote and to send it in, but there's already technical difficulties being reported. So hopefully we won't see that become a big issue. In other states, we are seeing issues with identification. In Ohio, there's new laws on how to regulate that and what voters are required to bring in. Many people don't understand fully, and if they were to do it wrong, their vote becomes no longer applicable. Same in states such as Pennsylvania, where earlier I was reading that there are people standing outside of voting locations asking people for identification, and these people are not anyone related to the actual polls. So unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of complications with the polls, and because of the close nature, we might see some of this turn into long-term battles to try to find the truth and make sure that every American vote got through. So if you can see up here, we are seeing more color come in. We're seeing a lot through the middle of the country, and obviously as the night goes on, we will see more coming in from the West Coast.
The core of democracy is the vote. The people, if you don't vote, then what good are you doing in America, where you can participate, where all countries would love to have that. They have dictatorships, but here in this country, you can vote for who you want, okay?
Absolutely, yes. I have voted since I was 21 years old. That means I voted for the past 52 years.
Absolutely. I think it's important to vote in every election.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, of course. It's my right as a citizen to have to speak my voice regarding the future of our country.
Yes, I will be. I think it's important for me to vote. I've been following the debates and all the information, and I think it is important for every person to be voting.
Yes, I am. Because I think it's important that your vote should count. Everybody's vote counts. So it makes an impact in our future, and the election is important.
Definitely be voting in the 2012 election. And the reason I'm voting is because I think this is an incredibly important election. The differences between the two parties are so vast that you have to cast your opinion and your vote. I think that President Obama, who I will be voting for, is the best choice because he is definitely here for women. He is here for education. He is here for health care. He is here to help us in every part of our daily life. Whereas I truly believe that the Republican Party and Mr. Romney will not only ruin the economy with their cutbacks and their desire to take away privileges from the so-called 47%, but they will just ruin this country and lead us into a depression.
I am definitely voting in the 2012 presidential election. I've been actually involved in Queens politics since I was 15 years old. So elections are something I've never missed. I'm very committed, and I really believe that every American has to participate. And also about our young people. My daughter is a college-age senior, actually, at the University of Delaware, and she and I and her friends are constantly talking about the commitment that young people have to make to take advantage of voting as soon as they are eligible by law, which is, of course, 18, encourage all their friends to participate. And I've actually been, to coin a Queen's phrase, schlepping my daughter around for campaigns since she was about 9 years old.
Yes, I'll be voting because I haven't missed a vote in 40 years.
Voting is an absolute important thing. I will be voting in this election. It is the right of every citizen in this United States to have a voice in our government, and that's the primary reason for everyone to vote, regardless of which person you support.
I will be voting in the 2012 election because it's very important that not only Queens but the whole country is involved in the change that's about to come.
Absolutely. I haven't missed an election since I was first eligible to vote.
It is my right, it is my duty to make sure that the right person gets into the White House.
Yes, I think it's an important election on many different levels, and yes, I will be voting.
Absolutely will be voting. I think it's a very important election. It's very close right now, and my vote will count.
Romney has the background. He has that economic, but in my opinion, as I listen to him and I've listened to the debates, I don't trust him. I don't know if he's a left or a right or a flip of a coin, but he definitely has the background in economics.
I think Obama definitely. This trickle-down stuff by, lowering taxes for the very rich, and, it's never worked. Never worked. So why should we buy into that again?
Definitely the Republican candidate.
You know what? When I listen to both candidates, it's the pros and the cons, and I couldn't sit here and say one is better than the other. I think also we'll see.
Now, I'm not an economic expert, but I think that President Obama is going to be more stimulating for our economy. I think he has a better grip on what we need in terms of opportunity and educating the workforce, making more loans available for small business startups, because obviously small business startups are still the lead employment sector in the United States.
Well, President Obama has already stimulated the economy. He was able to convince the Congress to pass a very large stimulus plan when he first took office. And he also was able to save the industry, the auto industry in Detroit, which led to the savings of millions of jobs. So he's already been doing a great deal to stimulate the economy.
President Obama